this. Governor Matrix says that he will continue to defend the state the only way that he knows, by fighting the damn Firestonians. As many of you know, Ridgeway is currently at war with the state of Firestone. Monday afternoon, Governor Matrix hosted an emergency press briefing informing the state about how truly ready we are. Governor Matrix says that Firestone will lose this war. He also states that our military is even more prepared than it's ever been before. Monday night, Matrix traveled to Prominence, Firestone, and debated with the Firestone governor, Canadian law, over the war at Firestone News Network headquarters. Traveling with him, we nearly saw 20 guardsmen and state guardsmen in full uniform at the studio Prominence. Governor Matrix addressed many issues coming from the Firestone citizens and Ridgeway citizens. However, at many times, Matrix did lose his temper a bit and threatened to smack the governor of Firestone and even citizens who were asking him questions. Granted, some of these threats were valid based off of demeanors of the viewers.
Hello? Sorry about that.
But some are rather just unjustified and made out not only himself look bad, but also the state of Ridgeway. Matrix debated that Canadian law over various things such as military readiness, the state of war, and many other things. It is safe to say that Governor Matrix destroyed Canadian law in most arguments. Towards the end of the debate, Ridgeway troops allegedly attacked the Firestone governor. This led to many Ridgeway troops being arrested in the state of Firestone. Governor Matrix was even detained in the state of Firestone, but left to avoid arrest. I'm joined by Jay McClaw and Roblox Rules. If you guys have anything to add, go forth and say so.
In fact, I do. Thank you for asking. I was just in Firestone actually when I was arrested by the National Guard and a trooper for apparently trespassing and failing to follow orders. I do have video of this occurring. I was following their orders. They told me to stay behind some barricades. I went to a different area and they arrested me saying that, oh, they're talking about these other barricades. So spent about 8 minutes in jail, actually prison, and that was a fun time. Guess you could say I was a prisoner for.
And do you claim that the actions that Firestone peace officers, were they justified, or do you think it was just biased because you were a Ridgeway citizen?
Well, personally, well, not personally, basically, it was really unjust. They even did some excessive force against me. One of the National Guardsmen was running at me, trying to stop me. I saw it was a woman running at me, so I stopped, and the lady proceeded to tase me while I was standing still. So I don't. They proclaimed that they didn't know that I was from Ridgeway, but I don't know. I was wearing the lapel pin and all, so who knows?
Any other comments you'd like to add on that?
Uh, at the moment, not really. I may be seeking some civil litigation over this.
Over to Roblox Rules. Mr. Rules, would you like to add anything? All right, moving on. Tuesday night, the Palmer Times and the Alder Group released results for our latest omnibus survey. The significant thing here is that the residents of Ridgeway are not happy with their government. Let's highlight the specifics. Governor Matrix's approval rises slightly, but not his net overall rating. This is still in the negatives at negative 29%. Overall, 61.3% of Ridgways disapprove of him. Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale His approval stays in the negatives at negative 1.6 approval rating with a 40.3 percentage of Ridgeway citizens approving him and a 41.9% of individuals disapproving him. Secretary of State Jason Bornaxis is approved with a rating of 51.6 and a net approval rating of 9.7. This, however, is lower than our last survey. State Senate is still highly disapproved with an approval rating of 22.6%. These are the lowest numbers on the survey at a staggering 65% of Ridgeway's citizens disapproving of their Senate, and their net approval rating at a negative 41.9%, which is the second lowest it's ever been. On the interesting turn of events, Senator Timbo Walk's approval rating is at a 40.3, and his disapproval rating is at a, again, 40.3 with a net approval of 0. Ridgeway County Sheriff Daniel Reagan has the highest approval rating out of anybody with an approval rating of 63% and a net approval rating of 42%. And finally, Attorney General Techie has an approval rating of 53% and a net approval rating of 12.9, which makes him the second highest approved government official. See the chart on the Palmer Times Public Approval Rating Database, which is in the pinned message in live chat. Moving on, the State Guard has drafted over 100 prospects combined with the Ridgeway National Guard. Nearly 200 active duty soldiers are ready to go to war with Firestone. This is by far the most people in our military ever, and more likely to be drafted in the future. Keep in mind that if you are drafted and you work in Ridgeway, and you work in the Ridgeway County Transit Authority, you are exempt from logs for the remainder of the war and the state of emergency. In the first draft, Senator Timbo Walk was notably drafted. He has done his training and is prepared to fight. Senator Vince Van is the captain of the State Guard and largely responsible for getting many of these troops ready for war. Saturday, May 18th, Senator Timbo Walk was removed from his position as president pro tempore. He personally believes that it's because of a disagreement that he had with Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale. Minutes after the disagreement with Mandatory Morale, his removal appeared on the docket. Senator Timbo Walk attempted to make his case at the Senate session, however, it was not enough for his colleagues. Senator Timbo Walk was removed, and Senator Not Feelings was chosen to be the new president pro tempore. He personally believes that this was because of their disagreement. He was devastated to see that such a small conversation could ruin their lasting relationship for almost exactly 1 year at this point. In approximately 1 week, Senate elections are expected to start up again. At this time, the only Senate we know is running for re-election is Senator Timbo Walk. Moving on to a more breaking news topic, on the night of Thursday, May 24th, the Palmer Police Department's Special Investigations Unit released an investigation report titled, quote-unquote, The Munch Papers. The report covered that Munch, who has now been identified as Ridgeway Superior Court Judge Arthur Chen, was conspiring with Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale to get revenge on Attorney General Techie due to his attempts to prosecute Governor Matrix and Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale. Special Investigations Unit interrogated Arthur Chen, who initially refused to answer any questions unless he was granted immunity. Judge Arthur Chen also contacted Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale, alerting him of the investigation. After Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale was made aware of this, he contacted Assistant Attorney General Ryan J. Syndicate regarding the interrogation. There he admitted to instructing Judge Arthur Chen to withhold information from SIU detectives. Toward the end of their investigation, Assistant Attorney General Ryan J. Syndicate contacted the Chair of Senate Oh my God, I can't talk. Senate Judicial Committee, Senator Vince Fant. Senator Fant did not confirm or deny if he was the author of the articles of impeachment against Attorney General Tecky. However, he inferred that Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale did instead. While being the president of the Senate, the Lieutenant Governor is not authorized to write and submit articles of impeachment against anyone. In the end, the SIU recommended the following charges for Superior Court Judge and now defendant Arthur Chen. 1 felony count of official misconduct, 1 felony count of unauthorized release of sensitive information, and 2 felony counts of obstruction of justice. SIU has recommended the following charges for Lieutenant Governor and now defendant Mandatory Morale. 1 felony count of official misconduct, 1 felony count of criminal fraud class 2, and 1 felony count of obstruction of justice. Following the release of the report, Mandatory Morale says that this marks the 4th attempt during Ryan J. Syndicate's tenure to indict him. I am confident any untrue allegations will be disproved, just as the past case he filed was dismissed with prejudice. These charges, however, just recommendations from the Palmer Police Department. On behalf of the Special Investigations Unit, a true bill of indictment is yet to be released on Judge Arthur Chen or Lieutenant Governor Mandatory Morale. Jay or Roblox Rules, do you guys have any sort of comments regarding this investigation into these 2 individuals?
Well, I do. Personally, I've seen this many times before. There's always something going on with the Justice Department and all these other departments. One of my big questions with this case is why is the Palmer Police Department investigating this? This seems more like a state issue for the SBI. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure it's first come, first serve on who can find the case, who can get all the facts together, who has CIs that they can get working on. Because this isn't just information that they come across on. This is just, individuals who have heard about this or know of this go to a well-trusted detective such as Gould, who's the lieutenant of the Special Investigations Unit, well-trusted member within our community, with information such as this for him to look into getting a case on it and getting these individuals charged.
Mm-hmm. All right. Another thing I have with this case, it seems like there's always some sort of inactivity within the court systems, especially the DOJ. You don't really hear much from them. Sometimes you'll see them, posting about their tip line, but you never really see press conferences or them talking about the current state of things within Ridgeway. It's just a really inactive department, you know what I mean?
A lot of their work, I'd say, is under the bus in terms of the public eye, but hosting press conferences or just keeping the public informed of cases such as this or just overall cases that they're working on could it just shows the public of what they're doing, and such as the Attorney General, that is an elected position, just so the public just feels safe that they elected an Attorney General that's competent.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because the thing with, real politics is you want to be able to ensure the public that you're actually doing your job. When you're not saying anything, it just makes people think that, nothing's happening. The public needs to be able to see things. Transparency is key.
Mr. Rules, anything you'd like to add to this discussion? Well, I'm gonna cut you off there. Yeah, it may seem like a waste of time, but corruption within our government isn't good whatsoever. So even just like if a hint gets out and an investigation is created into what was said. I just feel like it's great that we're jumping right on the gun and investigating these individuals. I don't approve of a corrupt
I,
government, and I'd rather have officials that have the public's view on matters going forward. So,
I have to agree with Sire here because, of course, with the whole David situation, we kind of just let things go awry, knowing things were not on the up and up. And you see what happened with that. We got to be able to be on the ball with this type of stuff. I mean, of course, the war with Firestone is important, but we can't just focus on it solely.
and also I'd like to give a big shout out to Brandon Love, B Love, doing a great job with the Ridgeway National Guard in terms of the state guard deploying in every server, deploying in Firestone, causing havoc over there, bringing the troops back home, and defending our glorious state. So once again, big shout out to Big B Love if you're listening out there. If you boys don't have anything else, I'm gonna move into the next subject.
Please do.
Moving into the last subject of the week, business of the week, Kiwi Cash. This week's business of the week goes to Kiwi Cash. Kiwi Cash is your place for loans and all your financial hardships in the state of Ridgeway. Make sure to join their Discord in the pinned comment. And that wraps up this week's Ridgeway review. My name's Simon Maskeen, and thank you for watching.
Oh, hold on. Before we end this edition of the Ridgeway Report, we're going to go ahead and talk about the polls. So, Sire, do you have any opinions?
No surprise that the individuals that are constantly being targeted just don't have a high approval rating, such as Matrix or Mandatory Morale. But I want to move over to the more of like public officials such as Techie and Reagan. Reagan's
Mm-hmm.
done a tremendous job in the Ridgeway County Sheriff's Office. Me being an employee of the Sheriff's Office, I can witness firsthand that he really does care, and the fact that he's just getting public approval of it and approval from his own deputies within his department to show that he's a overall competent public official. Me personally, I haven't seen an issue with Techie. I don't have an issue with him. Some people, I guess, have an issue for him prosecuting just individuals. People may see it as him constantly going after individuals, and it may seem biased, but I see an attorney general that cares and goes after. He just overall prosecutes individuals that he sees fit. So I personally don't have an issue with it. On behalf of the Senate, not like me being a part of the Senate, but like the whole impeachment scandal, the whole Japan 2S scandal, and having Senator Not Feelings on the show like not too long ago, and just his overall aspect on how bad the Senate is in terms of activity and just uh, overall. Really, no
Mm-hmm.
comment on Secretary of State Jason Bornaxis. I'm pretty sure he's doing his job with the whole Palmer Plaza update. People like being able to register businesses. I don't know, like in terms of how diplomatic solutions of whatever he's doing for the state of Firestone.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have anything, though, those are my comments.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and say my piece. So, with regard to these low low ratings for all these government officials, I'm just gonna come back to transparency and what the public sees. Things may be going on in the background. Things, of course, are actually always happening in the background. But in order to actually get good approval ratings, people need to be able to see that. You don't have to share everything, of course. There's some things that just can't be shared to the public. But of course, they need to know. Whenever you see, like, let's say, David, that guy, he had a lot of people backing him up. Why? Because he had the public on his side. He was always, you saw, he was always doing these interviews with the press, trying to talk to people all the time. I mean, the ways in which he acted were different to say the least. But I think that people more went towards, seeing him doing actual stuff than the way he acted, you know.
Mr. Rules, anything else you'd like to add? And I think that pretty much wraps up the polls on behalf of the Alder Group and the Palmer Times. Thank you for tuning in on this week's Ridgeway Review. That is all from the Palmer Times crew. We will see you next week.